The games industry is doing great. Don't worry, guys. Nothing to see here at all whatsoever. Everything is just fine. It's wonderful. And if you point it out, you're the real problem. Okay. And we're finding this out firsthand. I've made reference to this before, but I actually did find the post. So I guess this will just end up helping back up my case. But the games industry, the AAA industry, I guess we should go ahead and specify on this, because at least the indie and the AA space know their audience and they properly market to them. But when it comes to the AAA space, they think that, hey, you know what, the phones are a big thing, right? So we can go ahead and we can repurpose all of our popular titles and we can just go ahead and throw them out there at ridiculous prices. Okay, who is paying $50 for a phone game? $50 for a phone game that is how old? Okay, and even Capcom, for as many W's as they've racked up in recent years, they're focusing heavily this year on a Resident Evil 4 phone port for Apple iOS. It's absolutely stupid, because guess what? Mobile gamers, where they get this ludicrous idea that women make up like half of the gaming audience, when in actuality, you take a look at console and PC gamers, ain't that female, okay? Not to say that there aren't female gamers, but they're happy with the industry that there is right now. Okay, so if you go ahead and cater to them, you might have a success on your hand. But no. You want to go ahead and you want to break into the mobile market by bringing Assassin's Creed Mirage, Resident Evil, Death Stranding. Oh my God, a walking simulator on a phone. Why wouldn't that end up taking off? But according to Mobile Gamer, okay, suggests that under 3,000 people have paid $50 to play Assassin's Creed Mirage on iPhone since it launched on June 6th. Those other console ports have bombed too. Yeah, exactly. It's not working because mobile gamers are specifically different from conventional gamers, and the industry trying to conflate the two in order to bolster their bottom line is leading us to the problem that we're seeing right now. Because here's another terrible revelation, okay? Video game subscription revenue, which every AAA publisher is trying to push towards, because yeah, you have EA's subscription service, you got Game Pass, you got Ubisoft's whatever the hell, where they could just go ahead and throw out all of their interchangeable Far Cry gimmicks. Revenue has reportedly barely increased over the last few years, according to Matt Piscatella, one of the insiders with all the data. Microsoft trying to chalk up any of their failures, like Redfall, Starfield, Halo Infinite. They could just, yeah, it'll be fine. Day one on Game Pass, everything will be great. Call of Duty this year, it's going to be a day one release on Game Pass. It's all great. You know, all of those fantastic games, all of those heavy hitters that we announced, okay, during our big show this summer and Summer Game Fest, okay, yeah, it's all going to be day one on Game Pass. It's great, but you aren't growing as an industry. I've said this for a long time. Gaming is heading for a crash, and this is one of the most obvious examples. These streaming services, we've already seen the streaming bubble burst, okay? In Hollywood. It's just because gaming launched a few years later, it's going to take them a few years to catch back up on this. When it's all said and done, there's going to be one Netflix in the gaming space. Might be Game Pass. Might be whatever Sony's trying to do. Nintendo actually doing the smart thing, waiting on the sidelines, just, you know, releasing their games because they realize that, oh, yeah, we can do mobile gaming right because we can offer a console solution, and then also stay true to what made us Nintendo to begin with, have physical releases, not focus so much on tertiary aspects of game development by making the most photorealistic games that are out there. It's like graphics haven't sold games since the 7th generation. Let's be 100% honest. Since the transition to HD, graphics have rarely changed that much during the different generations. Things don't look a hell of a lot different from PS3 than they do to PS5. I'll be honest. They have a few more particles, but that's about it. So yeah, revenue is just as stagnant as current day game development, hence why the industry, yeah, it's shaking. It is getting shaken to its core because Microsoft's Xbox brand to reportedly face a third round of layoffs this year. Everything's fine, guys. It's all great. Don't worry about it. Industry is dying before our very eyes, and if somebody doesn't realize that, we're going to see the bubble burst again for the second time in 40 years. Is it necessarily a bad thing? Well, you know, especially given their current output outside of a few notable exceptions. Yeah, I don't really think so. According to a new report, Microsoft may soon be handing out yet even more pink slips to their already embattled Xbox workforce, because let's be honest, man, it's not like they've really put out any bangers, okay? Like, for as cool as, Gears of War Emergence Day looks, return to, Marcus Phoenix, Dom, Coltrane, all that stuff, that's going to be really cool, but you're just tugging a lot on nostalgia strings on that one. You better put out a banger of a game. Halo, oof. Halo hasn't been hitting for really longer than Halo's been a franchise, if we're going to be completely honest, which is kind of terrifying to think about. Because those first 4 games, okay, Bungie's tenure, those games came out in fairly rapid succession. And the aftermath, Halo 4 and forward, 343 had control of that IP longer than Bungie did? That's kind of crazy to think about. I think so. Anyways, what else? I think Forza continues to make, decent profit. But outside of that, what do they have to tout? Okay, continue to just dangle the string of outdated engines and gameplay with Elder Scrolls 6? Is that what you guys are banking on? Okay. The first tease of the company's upcoming misfortunes was provided to the public courtesy of the now former game learning lead, Jesse Thomas. Yeah, you can tell by our profile picture that really missing another SJW over there at Microsoft today. Taken to her personal Twitter account on July 2nd, Thomas informed her followers, "Sad to announce that my role with Microsoft has now been eliminated. To all those that have been a part of Team Xbox," she added, "thank you. I hope I made you proud." From there, noted industry insider and Verge senior editor Tom Warren would subsequently reveal that rather than a one-off situation, Thomas's job cut was actually the result of a larger round of impending Xbox layoffs. Retweeting Thomas's initial announcement later the same day, Warren detailed more Xbox layoffs happening this week. Microsoft laid off Jessie while she was on vacation. Oof. Unfortunately, Warren did not provide any details as to which specific Xbox divisions, which ones are left. Can you go ahead and point those out to begin with, or positions would be affected by these layoffs? Where, you spent the better part of the past few years purchasing and buying up every big studio, paying the gamer price for Activision and Blizzard, $69 billion, buying ZeniMax for 7 and change, I think. You created a bunch of redundancies. I understand. But you're also Microsoft. You're also one of the heavy hitters in the console space. And if you're trimming the fat this deeply, you're also cutting on muscle. You're cutting at bone at this point in time. And what type of a structural skeleton are you leaving in the aftermath? We got to wonder, because thousands of people have been laid off already. So much more office space that you need to create. As noted above, should these layoffs actually come to fruition, they would be the latest to hit Microsoft in 2024 alone. In January of this year, the decision partially motivated by shrinking profit projections from the coming year. Microsoft axed roughly 1,900 positions from their Activision, Blizzard, Xbox, and ZeniMax studios. Yes, everything that got folded in this year. Then in May, the company shuttered, the Bethesda subsidiary Arcane, Tango Gameworks, the pair best known respectively for Redfall and Hi-Fi Rush. Even though Microsoft wants to have more smaller titles to garner them prestige. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skills of the talented individuals to these teams or the risks they took to try new things, wrote head of Xbox Game Studios Matt Bodie in an all-company memo announcing the closures. He acknowledged that these changes are also disruptive to various support teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that bring our games to the market. We are making these tough decisions to create capacity to increase investments in other parts of our portfolio and focus on our priority games. Of course, further undertaking the potential cuts would also leave Microsoft at the latest casualties of the ongoing wave of wider Western video game industry layoffs. Yeah, but it's kind of funny, right? Because not a lot of Eastern developments. FromSoft just released a game that is, I guess it's a DLC that has been wildly successful, and then you had Miyazaki come out and go, nobody's getting laid off because we know how to run a company. Sucks to suck, I guess. Closest thing that you had, is Square Enix getting out of the US and Europe, and just focusing on Japan. So hopefully they can, focus on making accurate business assessments and understanding that, if you release one game on one console that doesn't really have huge attachment rates, thinking that you're going to go ahead and sell 10, 15 million copies and considering 2 to 2.5 million sales is not hitting expectations, that's kind of a you problem. I'm just saying. But yes, Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two pig-slipped 500 employees because it's been, when did Red Dead Redemption 2 come out? 2018? Last time that they made a game? Valorant heralds Riot Games let loose 530. That's just all the toxic fans that they had in their Valorant offices. The Dead by Daylight Studio, Behavior Interactive, Axe 95, Final Fantasy developer, Square Enix. Them down their US and European teams. You had to try to say that Final Fantasy and that's Square Enix and then try to tie them in with the US and European. Not really fair. At current, Microsoft is yet to either offer a public comment on Warren's reporting or formally commence the rumored layoffs. But yeah, I'd imagine, well, given the fact that right now, I think when you guys are seeing this video, okay, it's a Independence Day long weekend. So yeah, outside of the people that are already on vacation saying, you know what, you did such a good job, just go ahead and make that vacation indefinite. Probably hear more about this stuff next week, at the beginning of the week, something like that. We'll probably end up hearing things of that nature very, very soon, because I'd imagine most people got their, mid-year statements and realized, oh brother, we're in a big trouble. This is not looking good. It's not looking good at all whatsoever. But it's good, man. The quicker that they assess the problem, the quicker that they fix the issue, well, quicker they can get to the bottom of this and figure out exactly what is killing the industry. Because here's the thing, man, this is the problem with a lot of Western developers, as Grums has pointed out right here. Here's a post on maybe Reddit. I'm not entirely sure. Kind of looks like Reddit's layout, for as much as I can tell, right? I'm a professional game designer, and I'm worried that I'm starting to hate gamers. Watching the gaming events on YouTube last month with the chat on was extremely disheartening experience. Every time a character that wasn't a cishet white man appeared on the screen, the chats would fill with messages calling the game woke or complaining about DEI. Every game that wasn't a shooter or a hyper-casual competitive online game garnered Z's and boring comments. And then I check Twitter, and it's just people complaining that the MSG3 remake is not yellow enough. People telling me that there are right ways and wrong ways to beat Ring. It's probably Elden Ring, but hey, then again, why would I expect a designer to go ahead and be accurate with their verbiage? People hating on the new Dragon Age because the trailer doesn't match the tone they had imagined for it. That's the biggest criticism of that Dragon Age game, for sure. I've seen people implying that the main character in Fable trailers is ugly. Well, yeah. Thing has a fridge on its shoulders and it just always has a perpetual ooh face. So yeah, I would say that's ugly. Because it's a self-insert or some random level designer working at Playground whom they deemed not effable enough. Well, yeah, okay, the self-insert claims, I mean, how many more examples do you need? Okay, Mary Jane's interpretation in Spooderman 2, one-to-one of the character designer, okay. That's just the example that came up off the top of my head. If it wasn't so prevalent in the industry, that would be a one-off, not just an easily accessible reference. So whatever. I don't know. It's just the internet magnifying negative voices, I guess. Really? Or it's just giving you an accurate assessment of what your audience ultimately wants. But no. It's a Principal Skinner meme once again going, perhaps am I out of touch? No. It's the gamers, but it's making me real tired of gamers. But yes, you hate gamers because you're obviously political and insist that everyone accept and love your overt political messaging in games. You want compliance, and gamers aren't giving it to you. Exactly. They're supporting the games that they want to support. I don't know, man. I know it's a radical idea, right? But it's almost like if you make good products, people will find them. If you make ideological products, your ideological comrades, they'll be the ones to find them. And we know exactly when you pander to that group, you're not exactly long for this world. You're one of those thousands of people that end up finding out the age-old answer to the age-old problem of, can you eat your phone? Well, hopefully you can eat your words, because given the fact that you make games and you hate your customers, you aren't exactly long for the business. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.